The complaint by the Campaign Legal Center, a nonpartisan group with no ties to any political party, came shortly after President Trump, in an impromptu press conference on the White House lawn, called it a disgrace that Clinton's campaign and the DNC paid for what he termed the fake dossier. He claimed the disclosure has turned around the multiple, ongoing investigations into possible links between his campaign and Moscow. So they made up the whole Russia hoax, said Trump when asked about the disclosure about the Clinton campaign's involvement in the dossier, which was first reported by The Washington Post. Now, the hoax has turned around. The 9-page complaint by the campaign Watchdog group says nothing about the veracity of the allegations in the dossier, a subject that is still being actively investigated by Special Counsel Robert Mueller and 3 congressional committees. Instead, it focuses on how the dossier was paid for through a prominent law firm, Perkins Coie, which hired the private investigative firm Fusion GPS, and the failure of either the Clinton campaign or the DNC to report the actual purpose of these payments on their legally mandated campaign expenditure reports. The DNC and Hillary for America reported dozens of payments totaling millions of dollars to the law firm Perkins Coie with the purpose described as legal services or legal and compliance consulting, when in reality, at least some of those payments were earmarked for the firm Fusion GPS, with the purpose of conducting opposition research on Donald Trump, the complaint by the Campaign Legal Center states. The complaint notes that the Clinton campaign made 37 payments to Perkins Coie, totaling $5.6 million, and the DNC made 345 payments totaling $6.7 million. In particular, the complaint cites FEC policy guidance that states that entries for the purpose of a campaign disbursement must be sufficiently specific to make the purpose of the disbursement clear, and that, as a rule of thumb, filers should consider the following question: could a person not associated with the committee easily discern why the disbursement was made when reading the name of the recipient and the purpose? This guts the reporting requirements of the FEC, said Lawrence Noble, a former general counsel of the FEC who now serves as the top lawyer for the Campaign Legal Center, about how the payments for the dossier were reported. Campaign legal experts and consultants say it is not at all uncommon for candidates for both parties to conceal expenditures for opposition research by paying for it through law firms or outside consultants. It's a black hole, said one Democratic opposition research specialist, who asked not to be identified by name, and whose work for campaigns has rarely been publicly disclosed. But Noble said the FEC has become far too lax in enforcing its own rules demanding the accuracy of campaign expenditure reports, and the case of the dossier, due to its prominence and its impact on Trump's White House, may have taken matters to a whole new level and could cause the Commission, which rarely takes enforcement actions these days, to revisit the issue. But how much senior officials at the Clinton campaign and the DNC were informed about the work being done by Fusion GPS and the contents of the dossier is unclear. Donna Brazile, who became the DNC chair after Fusion GPS was hired but served the entire time the dossier was being assembled and while some of its contents shared with journalists, told Newspulse News Wednesday that at one point she requested the names of every consultant working for the committee and she was never told by Perkins Coie about the work being done by Fusion GPS. "I knew nothing about it," she said. The Clinton campaign did not respond to inquiries about the matter Wednesday. A lawyer for Fusion GPS declined comment.